Welcome back to another edition of the Witsup Weekly Grind. Now, I'm pretty nervous because we have got a big guest this week for the Witsup Weekly Grind. She's featured on Witsup in the past, and I thought with 100 days to go until the Olympics, it was important. In fact, it was vital to bring her back to the Witsup Weekly Grind. But before I welcome her, I just want to show you a little snippet of how she appeared on Witsup pretty much 4 years ago to the date. So I'm just going to play that video and you'll get a bit of an idea of who this young lady is. If you were at the Olympics, where do you think you would finish?
On the finish line. Gymnastics. Running, swimming, jumping, and riding, and somersaults.
If I won a running race, what would I get?
Silver.
Try again.
Silver.
Is that different to your first answer?
Yeah.
You are crazy.
Vegetables. Cashews. Chocolate coin from the fairy.
Why do you think she's really good at running?
Because she's got energy. I can run too.
Do you
So
reckon,
fun. Nom, 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 nom.
do you reckon you can run faster than Gwen Jorgensen?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome back to Witsup on the Witsup Weekly Grind. It's our good friend, Winter Brindley. How you doing, buddy? Good. What have you been up to today? So are we interrupting your schoolwork at the moment? Oh, geez. You're an overachiever. Now, last time you were on Witsup, we were having a chat about the Olympics. Do you remember? That was 4 years ago. Do you remember anything of what you talked about? All right, hang on 1 second. I've just made a slight error and I forgot to unmute you, I'm afraid. So we're going to have to ask you a few more questions. Do you remember what you talked about when you were on Witsup 4 years ago?
Not really.
Not really. You talked about the Olympics, and do you know that you didn't know how to say the word gymnastics? You used to say gymnastics all the time. It was very cute. Okay, my question to you is, do you understand that the Olympics isn't happening this year? It's been postponed until next year?
Yes,
Do you know why?
because of Corona.
What do you think about that? Are you a bit upset about it?
I'm pretty disappointed because I like watching it.
What's your favourite thing about watching the Olympics?
I don't really know. I think I just kind of enjoy it for no reason.
I'm going to ask you a question that I asked you years ago. What do you get if you win a running race?
A medal.
What colour?
Gold.
Yeah! Good job. Okay, so back in the day, you said that you might want to qualify for the Olympics. So if you were to qualify for the Olympics, which means you go there and you race, or you're a part of a team, what sport
Yeah.
would you like to do at the Olympics?
Probably riding my bike.
Ooh. As part of a triathlon or just the bike riding?
Probably just bike riding.
Okay. What do you like about the bike riding so much?
The reason probably why I like it is because my dad is a cyclist and I knew that he used to enter triathlons and the Olympics and everything.
He was in the Olympics?
Well, no, not really.
He's pretty good though. He is pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Why did you decide to do triathlon? What do you love about it?
I know that Balin entered it when he was 7.
Ah.
So I got excited, and I also saw my cousins do it, and Lucinda and Sienna, and that inspired me that I wanted to do it.
So you did your first triathlon when you were 7, which was last year?
Yes.
Yep. And I believe you did that with one of your best friends?
Yes, Marley Bennett.
Ah, and how did you go? Did you guys have fun?
Yes, it was really fun. I did enter to do 2 more, but then Corona came and I was really disappointed I couldn't do it.
Oh, no. So once Corona's over, do you think you'll continue doing triathlons?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, fair enough. And do you reckon maybe then one day you can... I mean, the Olympics, we've still got 12 months until the Olympics. Would you like to do the Olympics then?
I don't think so.
Now, tell me, do you have any questions for me?
I have 4.
4? Okay, just before we get started, if anyone has any questions for Winter, then please leave a comment. We've got a few people watching, I can see. Andy DeWolf, he's watching, Mr. Woofy. So if you've got a question for Winter, then please just leave a comment and let us know. But in the meantime, Winter, a couple of questions for me.
How did triathlons get invented?
Oh, that is a tough question to start with, but a good question. Well, do you know that some people argue about where the first triathlon started? It's true. But the answer I might give you is where the Ironman started, which is in Hawaii, which you've seen part of that. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So that started because people were having an argument about who was the fastest person, the fittest person on the planet, whether it was a swimmer, a bike rider, or a runner. And no one knew the answer. So they decided to join all those things together. And that's where the Hawaiian Triathlon or the Hawaiian Ironman was invented. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right.
Why did you start a triathlon yourself?
Another good question. I did it because I had hurt my back, and part of making my back better, I did some swimming and riding as part of what's called rehab to help my back get better. And then I just fell in love with it. So I just decided to learn how to run as well and did a triathlon.
I wasn't expecting that, but... Has Bretty done a triathlon before?
I think Bretty has done more triathlons than you and I could count. I think he's raced in Hawaii. Did you know that? Twice. And did you know that he raced so fast and so hard that he had to go to hospital because he was really dehydrated. He didn't drink enough water. Yeah. Intense, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And the last one is, when Frankie is older, can I teach her how to do triathlons?
I would love for you to do that. She's just learning how to ride a bike, so I think you would make a great coach. Is that all right?
Thanks. Yeah.
And maybe we can make your brother an assistant coach.
Yes.
All right. I like it. That was only 3 questions.
No, that was 4.
Oh, was it?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, I believe you. Well, Winter, that's some hard-hitting questions. Have you ever considered a career in triathlon journalism?
I don't really know what that means.
Journalism means you research and you talk about triathlon news.
Not really, only when Dad does triathlons.
All right. Well, maybe one day you can coach Frankie to do a triathlon and then you can maybe also write about it as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I have been doing research on all different things.
Like what?
I don't know what they're really called though.
To do with triathlon?
Well, it's not to do with triathlon, it's just random things.
Okay.
School.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it's called again. Experiments.
Oh, like science experiments.
We've
Nice
been
one.
our school has been searching around experiments and seeing what we can do. I did one on Friday. I did an experiment.
Yeah, and how'd it go?
It was very well. I got it corrected how it was meant to work.
Yeah.
I had to use shaving cream and food dye and something and make like a pattern.
Oh, all right.
It was really random. It wasn't really an experiment. It was kind of just art for some reason, which we found a bit weird. But
But it was fun.
yeah, it was fun.
All right. Hey, one of our followers has got a question for you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Anne has said, what other things does Winter enjoy in addition to triathlon? So other than triathlon, what else do you like doing?
Gymnastics.
Yeah.
Dancing.
Yeah.
And nothing really else. And probably drawing and writing.
Okay.
And that's about it.
All right. Paul has waved hello. So do you want to give Paul a wave? Okay, so folks, we have got Winter here for one more minute. If you have any questions for Winter Brindley, then please leave a comment. I know we've got a few people watching. I think they're a bit shy to ask questions, Winter, but we're going to wait here for just a little bit longer to see if any other questions come in. I've got another question for you. Do you remember any athletes who are part of the Olympics?
No.
Do you remember a lady called Anna Mears?
I feel like I remember watching a video that had her in it.
Yeah, she was a very good cyclist.
I feel like I remember that video.
Yeah, I reckon you would. We might have to find that video again. I've got a really important question that's just come in from Rebecca, and she has said, have you finished cleaning your room yet?
No. Did you really do that?
Now,
she's standing right next to me, cracking up laughing while she's doing the washing.
Now the world knows that you have not cleaned your room.
Well, we have been doing experiments in my bedroom.
Oh, is that why it's messy?
Probably.
Yep.
Well, I vacuumed my floor. There's only a little bit on there I was using just before the chat.
Ah, okay. Well, do you know what? I think that's a good time for you to go now. You can go and clean your room. It's just what kids have to do, I'm afraid. But we wanted to thank you very much for your time, and we can't wait until you get to do your next triathlon. Do you want to say bye to the fans?
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Winter. Thanks for joining us. See ya.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. That was Winter Brindley. We thought we'd have a little bit of fun with Winter, as she has, like I say, has appeared on the Witsup website in the past. There's a few other things I want to talk about before we take off, and thanks for sending in that question as well. Winter would have loved it. What was the question? Who remembers the Rio Olympics? And I'd like to hear from you if you do remember watching the Rio Olympics, particularly the triathlon event. And if you do remember seeing Gwen Jorgensen and Nicholas Spirig on the run, they were running, well, not so much shoulder to shoulder. They were one in front of the other. And then at one point, so they were going sort of backwards and forwards. And at one point, you saw Gwen and Nicola turn to each other and have a bit of a chat. What do you think they were saying? I would love to hear your thoughts about that. Also, what's been your favourite moment, your highlight of the Olympics of any year? For me personally, I loved the bit where Emma Snowsill was running towards the finishing line, and I don't know if she got directed down the wrong chute or she just took the wrong line towards the finishing line. But she ended up having to jump, those triangle barriers, they're only like that high, but she's only about that high, and she ended up having to jump over those little signs or the barriers and then head to the finishing line, because the Olympic distance at the Olympics isn't tough enough without adding a bit of hurdles in the mix. So I really enjoyed that, plus the unforgettable sprint finish between Lisa Norden and Nicholas Spirig. Fantastic race there with Australia's very own Erin Densham running into third. Paul has just said, I seem to remember watching the beach volleyball at Rio Olympics. I mean, greatest beach to have the beach volleyball. Here's a legit question. Why do the women have to wear the bikinis and the men are in board shorts? It's a question that's plagued many for years. And I don't know, I might be missing something. Maybe that's far more comfortable for women to be wearing bikinis on the beach doing beach volleyball. I have no idea. I'm not a bikini person. I can't remember the last time I played beach volleyball. So I don't know the answer, but it's interesting. I don't know, maybe they're more aero or something. Or maybe there's another reason for it. I would love to hear your thoughts on that as well. Back to Jorgensen and Spirig. Do you remember watching them on the run? They're together. There's a big gap to the rest of the group, and you see them running next to each other, and it looked like a heated exchange. What do you think they said? Now, before we go, I would like to know, what is your good news for the week? If you have any news from the week, please just leave us a comment below. Let us know what that is. I would love to hear from you. If anything happened to you this week, that is some good news. I would like to know. Here's some random good news. I just chased down a beanie that one of my mates had bought. Actually, Winter's dad had bought it for himself, one of the Witsup beanies, and it had taken forever to arrive. And I finally got an answer back from the manufacturer that it had been lost. So I just texted him and said, sorry, we're going to have to get another order. 5 minutes after I sent that through to him, the beanie arrived. So there you go. There's some good news from us. If you have any good news, please leave a comment below. Let me know what your good news of the week is. Our other good news is we launched, Chef Brady was here last week, joined me on the Witsup Weekly Grind, and on Friday we launched our very first Chef Brady cooking show, and it was fantastic. I think it went off really well. It went a bit longer than what we first anticipated, but it was unreal. That's the rest of our good news, and we've actually launched a Chef Brady Facebook page now. It's just Chef Brady. Check that out, and we'll be doing a lot more live cooking shows there. Now, going back to Jorgensen and Spirig, Joe Coomer said, one of them said, I think, Gwen, you've already got a gold medal, you do the work, to which Nicholas said, no. I wonder, I think, I've heard quite a few things, not too sure whether I should repeat them. Keep coming. What else do you think they said to each other? Anne has said she'll have to consult the Google for a clip of that exchange in Rio. Super interesting. Would have been unreal if they were mic'd up. I would have loved to have heard that. Joe said also vice versa. Can't remember. I've kind of heard slightly different variations on what was said between Jorgensen and Spirig. Very, very interesting. Okay, any other good news? Do we have any good news? I'm not going until someone makes a comment with their good news of the week. Joe, I know that you've just moved into your new house up in Nursa or thereabouts on the sunny coast. That's surely some good news. I also saw that you had a coffee machine delivered, so that's fantastic news. Do you or anyone else out there have some good news? I need some good news from you before we shut this one down. Apparently, Jacinda Ardern, am I pronouncing that right? Jacinda Ardern, is that right? New Zealand's Prime Minister also has a live feed going on at the moment, so I'm competing with her. Sorry about that. And has just said, new bike arrived and it's awesome. Oh, that's fantastic news that's arrived. Was that the gravel bike? I'm getting confused because there's a few people last week who said that new bike was on the way. Luke. Oh, yes, that was what I forgot to talk about. Superleague. Fantastic point. Thanks, Luke. Superleague was very cool last night. Good news. We had some live racing. It looked unreal. It looked fantastic. It was like, do you know, it actually reminded me of Ninja Warrior, just where they had the commentators on the ground and then cutting to and fro. And yeah, it looked awesome. And it was so good to see real life people racing in some capacities. Fantastic. Great point. Did anyone else watch the Super League last night? If you didn't, you can catch it on their YouTube channel or on their Facebook page as well. Highly recommend you check that out. Nadine has just said, I just got a text message from Brett saying that he's going to the shops. What should I ask him to get me? More chocolate? That's always the answer. More chocolate. Nadine, yep, you have the PM's name correct, and she does have a live feed, but I've left her for you. Yes. How's it going over there, Nadine? Many more changes in terms of COVID numbers and lockdowns and so forth. Let me know. Paul Healy, I'm jetting off to the UK for 6 months on Thursday. Paul, that's amazing. How's that working? Do you need to quarantine on the other side? Oh, you're not in Melbourne though, are you? So you can escape. You can get out of here. All right, just getting some comments now. And got a road bike, but getting some gravel tyres for it. Fantastic. What was the whole Super League race? Yeah, so the Super League, I'm just going to pop this back up from Luke. Great format for TV and pretty cheap to run. The watts were insane for the women on the bike. So, and Luke, I know that you're listening and you watched it. I sort of went in and out of it. But what I saw was awesome. So they swam in the pool, jumped on the bike on Zwift, and then ran on treadmills. So it was all contained in one area, but it wasn't avatars. Well, I mean, I guess on Zwift you had avatars on the bike and the run, but they were filming the real live people doing it. So we got to see exactly how they all felt, how it was all sort of playing out. And then on the podium, this mask back on for the podium, it was quite bizarre just to see that. It's just weird. I don't think I'm used to seeing people in masks just yet. Even though you walk out the front door here in Melbourne and everyone's wearing them, it's still just... yeah, it's weird. It still feels like it's what do you call it? What's the TV show I'm thinking of? It's one of my favorite TV, Handmaid's Tale. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yes. So anyway, Super League looked incredible and great to see a whole bunch of elite and or pro triathletes getting amongst it. Paul said, yes, he'll be quarantining for 14 days. Let's go back to Nadine so we can find out what's happening in New Zealand. Auckland is level 3 till Sunday night. Rest of the country is still level 2, so no change. Few more cases, but not many. Didn't watch the 1 p.m. conference call today. Okay, cool. All right, can someone else give me some good news and then we will wind things up for the week? Also, who would you like who would you like for us to get on the Witsup weekly grind? We need some fresh faces, I think. I've already called on Chef Brady, so I can't use him again. But who should we call in for the Witsup weekly grind next week? The hardest thing for us in terms of globally is that we can never hit every single corner of the globe at the same time, which sucks a bit, but it is what it is. We can get people in the Southern Hemisphere and then North America as well when we run it at this time. But unfortunately, we always seem to miss out on the UK and Europe for any live stuff. So anyway, is there anyone who you would like us to get on the Witsup weekly grind? Please leave a comment below. Let me know. All right. Thanks again to Winter Brindley for joining us once again on the Witsup platform. Greatly appreciated. And we're really looking forward to seeing her triathlon career take off in all sorts of directions, I'm sure. Just so you know, with Winter, when she did it with her best friend, she waited for her best mate so they could do the majority of the triathlon together, which was super cute. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Short and sweet. I will see you next week. Take care of yourselves. Paul, good luck with the journey back over to the UK. Look after yourself. Stay healthy. And we will see you back here next Monday. Take care.